Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Marine X back at it again. In-ear monitors are my secret weapon within my everyday carry, and you might want to consider grabbing yourself something similar to this as well. I think that they do something when it comes to your everyday carry, to your listening experience, just all of that type of good stuff. Meze just dropped a brand new product. They announced it about a month ago. Today is launch day. Now, we're going to talk about why I like in-ear monitors, what I like about these in-ear monitors specifically, and why you may want to consider it for your everyday carry and everything like that. Now, first off, this might be very niche for some of you, but I like to wear in-ear monitors, and I'm going to unbox this while I talk about why I enjoy in-ear monitors so much. I like in-ear monitors for the fact that they present a fantastic sound stage. I feel like I hear every instrument. I hear the sibilants. If the person's voice has too much sibilants, meaning they say the letter S too hard, you know, I can hear bass better. I can just really feel like I'm actually at the concert or at the event with the artist whenever I use in-ear monitors. I've tried to really get down with in-ear monitors quite a bit over the last couple of years. In 2022, I bought these 3D printed, um, I think they're called Landru uh, headphone or IMs on Amazon. I think I spent like $40, and these were pretty good, but they were really lacking in bass. They also have this annoying wire that I could never really get the curl out of. But I used those for quite a while, especially on live streams. Eventually, I led myself over to the Moondrop Arias, mainly because of YouTubers' reviews, and these were not impressive. These things were just not impressive. They were hard to stay in my ears. They're really big for some IEMs, in my opinion, and they just always fell out. They look great. They have the aesthetics that you would want in some IEMs, but when I'm rocking these things with, I normally use these things with my iPod Nano, iPod, what is this? iPod Touch Nano, whatever they call this thing. I use it with this thing all the time. Still to this day, works just fine. It has my music. And the reason I like this is number one why I like in-ear monitors is because if you get a good in-ear monitor coupled with like an iPod, some type of any type of music playing device where you can own your music and you're not streaming your music, then you don't lose the license to that music. As much as we like to have YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify, et cetera, Tidal, if any of those services lose the license to the songs that you like, you won't have access to them anymore. And you can obviously download those to your phone, but your phone gets it receives text messages and it has the internet and all the other type of stuff. Whereas, specifically the iPod doesn't have internet, and it really just lets you just kind of escape and listen to music and pay attention to it. The digital to analog converter that's in this thing, or DAC, is actually pretty good for a device that's nearly a decade old or is a decade old. And then even the iPod Touch, the last generation before they stopped making the iPod Touch, is really good as well. Now, this one's basically an iPhone that doesn't make phone calls. So if you want something that makes you feel the most similar to an iPhone, I would recommend something like that. But this is how I use them. I use them whether I'm going to the grocery store and I want to leave my cell phone at home but still listen to music. If I'm going out on a walk, I want to leave my phone at home. Or even if I have my phone with me and I just want to like focus on music or podcast or talk radio, that's how I use those. So let's diving into this one specifically. You get it, you get the little literature and stuff. It gives you instructions on how to plug up the cable. We'll bring you in a little bit closer. How to plug the cable up, how to use these things. And then you also get the booklet, which tells you the basic specs of these. Now, these IEMs are going to be $159. This is a much better price than the other IEMs that Meze makes, which are $700. They tried to keep that soundstage, that unique Meze sound and design, and really drive home the price and make it more accessible to folks that are really interested into getting into IEMs and getting into better music. Now, with these specifically, I've had these things for months. I just reboxed them to kind of show you what they look like. But you're going to get this actually nice leather case, which for me, I've had these IEMs for I think 3 or 3.5 months. And look how good the case still looks. I'm talking, I've touched these things while working on a workbench. So I don't know what they've done to actually keep these from looking super horrible, the case itself, but they look pretty clean. Now, that's a little different story for the inside. My earwax has transferred to the inside felt. And that's something to think about. And I guess you probably could wipe it down. It is feel like I can wipe it down, but I just wanted to show you that. Now with this, you do get 4 sets of tips. Okay, so you get extra small, small, medium, and large, or extra R large, or whatever you get. You get 4 sets of tips pre-installed on the actual, or installed on mine are the mediums, and they feel just fine for me. So these things look pretty good. They have like this little hole in the middle, which actually helps drive the bass. One thing I noticed when I compare these to ones that I already own is that they have that little hole in the middle for the dynamic driver for driving the bass, and it makes it sound really, really good. And they actually make a smaller footprint as well. So also included with these, they do include a USB-C to 3.5 millimeter converter cable with a built-in DAC. So you can plug this into your iPad, into your phone, into any device that uses audio, and still get that. If you have an older iPhone that uses the Lightning, you have to buy that from their website, or maybe even buy a third-party one as well. But it's nice that they include that in the box. And then you get this nice braided cable. If you want, for an additional charge, you can actually get a 4.4 millimeter cable if you have devices or a DAC that plays or uses something like that. I have that. I don't use this very much because it is more convenient to use the 3.5, but this sounds really good as well. But included is the 3.5 millimeter cable. Now, this cable is braided, but the one thing I would say that I love about this cable, and I've noticed this over the months, is that there's no wire in the middle of the braid. What I mean by that is these have a wire in them. So it's hard to remove the curl out of these IEMs if I don't like how they curl into my ears. So if, say, for instance, I hate the way that they curl too much or whatever, and I want to hit a heat gun with this, I can't do that with this. The fact that there is no wire in here, if you want to apply a heat gun to these bad boys and actually remove some of the curl out of there, you can. All right, so the red is for the right side. And then you can plug up the other one. So easy to get these things rocking and rolling, basically going. And so from there, you're ready to go. So one thing I will say, and I'll throw these in and listen, and that's want to zoom in and show you what these look like in the ear. You can kind of see just how good they fit and they feel. This is one thing I really like about these, is they fit really, really good. I know it's super close up to my face, but I really wanted to show you how these things look in the ear. I like the fact that they just really isolate sound well. Of course, they don't have noise isolation or noise cancellation in them, something you would have on some Sony earbuds or some Googles or AirPods or whatever, but they just bring sound differently. I can't 100% describe how the sound is just that much different. Now we're going to try these bad boys out. All right, so really good fit and feel. We will throw the iPod Touch on. So right now we are rocking How Do You Want It by Tupac. So one thing I will say about these IEMs is that if there are, I forget what that instrument's called, but on drums, is it the cymbal or whatever that thing is that the drummer hits, you can hear that. So if there's anything with a lot of syllabants or the letter S or that snappy sound, you can hear that a little bit more. At least I can hear it a little bit more. So if you're listening to a singer who stresses the letter S really heavy or the letter C really heavy, you can hear that more. But let me tell you something, the bass on these compared to my old IEMs are freaking fire. That was my number one complaint when it came to the Moondrops. The Moondrops just sound bad. These only cost me $80, but they sound really, really bad. These things cost me $40, and these sound really good, but the bass is not there. And the thing I like about, as much as I like my Sony earbuds and stuff like that, these have too much bass. And sometimes it's just, you can't really feel every instrument. That's my number one complaint about earbuds, whether they're AirPod, they are my Google Pixel Buds, my Sonys. You don't really feel like you're immersed in the music itself. Whereas I'm wearing these things right now, and I feel like I am talking a little bit louder than I normally talk because they have noise isolation. I really think that these IEMs work well for travelers they're a great introduction into the world of trying to move into audio enjoyment. So I think that, earbuds, bigger headphones, over the ear headphones, those are for just music lovers that have specific music that they like. But I think that when you get IEMs, you're trying to move more into enjoying audio better. It's similar to wearing a smartwatch and an analog watch. When you have a smartwatch, you just need the time. You just need the information to you. You want it to look good or feel good or give you a lot of features. That's kind of what earbuds are. But IEMs are more like, yes, I need the time, but I want it to present in a better way. I want it to be timeless. I want it to always work. That's one thing I really like about it a lot. The DAC that's built into these things are phenomenal. So let's throw these things into my cell phone. So we see what these say like on the AirPod Touch, fantastic. We'll throw this into my phone. So once these things are plugged up to any device with USB-C, then you can see, all right, so here we'll rock a little bit of Good Directions by Billy Currington. Ooh, wait, hold on. The sound it's there. The DAC is so good here. Like this built-in DAC is really good. I had to actually turn these things down. So I'm only like less than halfway, and I can hear all the instruments. I can hear it sounds super good. Loving the way that thing is sounding. She had to be thinking this is where rednecks come from. Okay, I'm not gonna sing for y'all, but it's a really good soundstage. I can't describe it. One thing also I would say about these is that the fact that they give you so many ear tips makes a lot of sense. I like the fact that it is using a single dynamic driver. So these are using a single dynamic driver as well, but it just feels like that whoever is behind the technology for these things is just not really making the cut. Whereas these things right here sound freaking fantastic. Let's take these out of the ear real quick. I just love the way that these sound, and I've had 3 months or so to really test these things out and to really just be able to say that I like the fact that they present so well. Now, they're 32 ohm, and 32 ohm, the easiest way to explain is that these can be basically driven by any device. You can drive these with cell phones. You saw me just drive it with my cell phone. You can also drive it with an older iPod. You can drive it with a computer. So you won't have any issues with driving these, as in meaning AKA making them actually work for whatever device that you're using. That's a really good thing, and it could be important as well. All right, so I'm going to throw the rest of the specs up on the screen, and I'm going to tell you that the one thing that I will say about Meze, and I appreciate that they did, is because their other IEMs are out of reach for most buyers. $700, that's just a lot of money. These are $149 or $159 rather, much more reasonable. And I say that meaning that if you're already in IEMs, which I have been, I have spent between 40, 80, almost $100 on them, and I really haven't been satisfied. Getting these have been a different satisfaction. And for disclosure, Meze sent these to me. They're not sponsoring this video. They didn't pay me any money. They didn't get to see this video before you guys did. As a matter of fact, they're seeing it the first time right now as I release it. So it kind of lets you know my honest opinions about it. Some things I don't like about it, as mentioned, I don't like the fact that it does transfer earwax a little bit to the inside of the case. Pretty sure that's easy to clean. I didn't want to clean it yet till I showed the video. Now I'm going to clean that up. I wish it included an earwax cleaning tool. Now, I haven't had a lot of issues with earwax on these, but it would be nice that if they included an earwax cleaning tool. I know on their higher end headphone IEMs, you get the earwax clean, but it's $700. You should get that. So that would be nice if they included that as well. And I do kind of wish they would include the lightning converter as well for the a lot of people still have the older iPhones. I have an older iPhone I'm looking at right now. It would be nice to be able to use this with my older iPhones that still have the lightning port on the bottom. So I can't use it on that, and I haven't bought a converter to use it any other way is all. But that's kind of like a first world problem. So overall, can I recommend these for $159 in comparison for the things that I've used before? Yes and no. If you have a pair of earbuds, you're satisfied with them, they work for you, you don't care about getting that extra things that I'm talking about. This is a neutral sound with a lot of warmth, a lot of bass, but not as much as you're going to get out of a pair of earbuds or something like that. You're a bass heavy fiend or something like that. These aren't for you. If you're looking for something that can be versatile in the gym and for traveling and for going on a walk and like a wide range of stuff, these probably aren't the best for getting all sweaty up and stuff like that. So if you want one thing that's going into your ear, these aren't for you. If you don't like stuff that goes in your ears, these are not for you. So those are kind of some caveats. But if you already have earbuds, you have headphones that go over your ears, you're really trying to get into the music experience at the next level, meaning you're trying to really go for, let me see, just show you this, man. You're trying to get to the next level and understand what your sound sounds like, listening to music such as classical music, Sade, if you like R&B, if you like hip hop, if you like country, I like talk radio. I listen to all of it. These are great for that. So for walk around IEMs, grocery store, going on walks, traveling, I've used it for that as well. They work well for all of that. If you want to really dive deep into the sound stage, these are for you. And at $159, they make sense. If they were the other ones that they have for $700 and they sounded like this, I would be very upset. These are made of zinc alloy and anodized aluminum. Comment down below. Would you wear IEMs? Do you think they're a thing of beauty? Do you think that they make no sense? These fall in your budget? I would love to know what your comments down below. If this is your first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. It's time for me to jam out and all that good stuff. We will speak soon.